I don't know about you, but it is the first week in February, which, if you're anything like me, is about the time you have completely forgotten those New Year's resolutions that you made at the beginning of the year. That's a bit of an overstatement. You probably can remember what they were, but for all practical purposes, they have fled from your day to day life. Having made the resolutions in the first place may have sort of moved the center in your life a little bit, which is a productive and good thing, but you're not really holding yourself to it anymore, and you are not thinking about it, most likely, on a daily basis. And by you, I mean me. So I thought I would take a moment here this week and give myself a little progress report on my New Year's resolutions in hopes of holding myself accountable to the resolutions that I have made. I'll be honest with you, it's probably not going to be finished this year. I'm not going to get through all of them. I am finding that for anyone who has an actual life of any kind, the entire Harvard Classics library, getting an education through them takes about as long as a Harvard undergraduate degree would take. Having said that, I think if I step it up a bit, I can make it less than 4 years, but I don't think I'm going to be finishing this in the year 2013, unfortunately. I don't want to be too hard on myself, especially since that reinforces the behavior, but I feel like I've made some progress here. I am still judging and very much armored in a lot of ways, but I'm bearing it in mind, and I feel like I'm getting better about these things. Which sounds like I'm being very pious, but in talking about this particular one at this particular point in my life, I am not focusing so much on the compassion, brotherhood, loving, all of that sort of thing, although those are very important attributes that I would like to emulate of these two historical figures that I appreciate greatly. But I'm speaking more about what my Pastor Rayleigh, calls wrestling with the truth. I think that the past month of my life has been marked by wrestling with truth, which I think is a worthy endeavor for anybody to put oneself through, and again, is a lifelong process. But I have gleaned a little word of unsolicited advice I will give to anybody out there also wrestling with the truth. Let the truth win. Right, again, don't want to be too hard on myself, but this is going to be a lifelong process. Those are some pretty deep roots. But I have found that the practice, as I suspected, of thankfulness and contentment sort of counteracts the fear and anxiety, works as an antidote, that if you are working on those things in your life, on having a spirit of thankfulness and contentment in your life at all times, the fear and anxiety tends to take care of itself. So I would recommend that practice to everybody. I'll be honest. Do you know those DVD players where you press the button to make it go fast forward and then you press it again and it goes super fast? That's kind of been the last month of my life, and I'll admit to you, I have not written one scrap of poetry in the past month of my life. I intend to amend that and intend to do so right here and now. The guilt of the peacefulness, of tiny footsteps constantly heard no more. The burden of love borne unawares, relief worse than the weariness. It's a start. And all of which sounds really tragic, but I will tell you that it's actually a poem written about the Chihuahua that my stepdaughter owns, and she just moved out and took him with her. So there you go. My New Year's resolutions revisited, hopefully to let them stick. the life unexamined is not a life worth living. And I would encourage all of you to do the same. Resolutions, I contend, are a very good thing. So thank you for watching, and we shall see you next week. Ta-ta.